Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JPMorgan Chase, which the New York Times is reporting today, that he privately supports Kamala Harris, but is afraid to say so for fear of blowback if Donald Trump wins. He also has expressed in private, according to sources familiar with the matter, interest in serving in a Harris administration, perhaps as Treasury Secretary. Jeanne, would it make any difference to Kamala Harris's campaign at this point in the race if Jamie Dimon were to express the support out loud and vocally?
You know, I think it may along the edges, although I have to say most of the people who would probably be listening and hearing and moved by that have already made up their mind. It can't hurt if he says publicly he supports her. But I think, you know, it's very clear that for him and his company, it is probably best not to do that. And I'm just thinking back to our conversation about McDonald's yesterday and Charlie Pellet telling us that they came out very swiftly to say they are gold, not red or blue. And I think that's probably wise and sage advice for a lot of these companies, because there's very little benefit to them to alienate either their customers, their shareholders, or quite frankly, the people who work for them by expressing support in that way.
Rick, you're well versed in the investment community as a partner at Stone Court Capital. What impact would that have, Jamie Dimon, on your team this stage of the campaign?
Well, you probably would have hoped that it had happened a long time ago, because obviously he is a blackbird in Wall Street. He brings other people with him. He brings an enormous amount of capacity to fundraise. And so that financing isn't going to be really that, readily available in the last 2 weeks of the election. I think it adds a lot of credibility and seriousness to the Harris effort. And look, I mean, Wall Street a long time ago gave up this notion that capitalists don't play in politics. The only thing different between capitalists and politicians are politicians want money and capitalists want power. So sooner or later they converge. And that's what I think you see a little bit of Jamie Dimon doing right now, is seeing the potential for power.